Wait. There he goes.
Have you ever heard of the name John Wesley? If not, he is the first person to found the first Methodist church in the 1700s. I have a lot of friends who are Methodists, and I've done a lot of research on them, and they have told me about what all they believe and how they were different from other religions. According to Bruce Heights, John Wesley, born from the Five, British heritage, John Wesley was called the father of Methodism. He was about pretty much the first person who kind of got it all started and everything. But as a kid, his dad was in prison for and then the whole townspeople pretty much hated him because since when his dad went to jail, so now they kind of like took out the anger on him, and then they would burn his house down, and he almost died in a house fire. And the townspeople would go on to like kill all his farm animals, and they would set his factory on fire. And then after that calmed down, and he started trying to figure out what he wanted to do with his life, he wasn't really sold on anything. But then eventually he was convinced to go into the missionary and ministry, and he would go on to be ordained in September 22nd, 1728. And he would go on to found a Methodist church, and then he would start being a missionary. The Methodist Church is one of the oldest churches in the world today. According to William J. Whalen, what makes a Methodist? Methodists grew to make up the largest church in the U.S. by 1850. Unfortunately, they would eventually be overrun by the now Catholics and then the Southern Baptists down up in here. And today there are many famous Methodists, some well-known, some not. You got Bob Doyle, and one of the famous Methodists today is one who's a presidential candidate, and her name is Hillary Clinton. Now, Methodists, they believe in something other than submersion, which Baptists believe. When they believe in like sprinkling, which means whenever someone becomes saved, that they would just sprinkle, well, not really sprinkle water, but more pour it on them. And then they would do that instead of submersion. They would believe in social reform and personal discipline. They have these, other than the minister, they have two leaders of the church. They have these deacons and they have elders. And that's how they do things differently now than some other religions. But the Baptists believe, other religions like the Baptists believe in submersion, which is like dipping someone in a lake or just like a bath in the church kind of thing. Baptists, the way they differ from Methodists is they hold these revivals, which will be at night, and they last like a few days. They bring in like some formal speaker, and he talks to the church for like a few days. But the Methodists, whereas they hold these camp meetings, and from what my friends told me that they do them at night too, and they do them outdoors, is what makes them more unique than revivals. They just kind of do it like mainly they can do it in the woods or just anywhere outdoors, and that's where they would hold them. According to Michelle Dillon, what is called American Catholics in 2011, National Catholic Reporters, Catholics, the way they differ from them is like daily prayer is very important to everyday lives of most Catholic members, like they do it all the time. But however, they seem to be divided on every issue within the church. Now, the most famous Catholic you may have heard of is the Pope Francis, and the way that they do it is Methodists, they, like every other religion, they believe in the resurrection, and they have go on to just be one of the foundations of religion in the world. Here's a picture of John Wesley, who would be going to lay the foundation of the Methodist Church. This is a picture of the United Methodist Church, which is like the symbol. Here's a picture of the sprinkling, where they just like dip the water on them instead of like just sprinkling. They just like pour the bowl over the head, like for a baby, for instance. And then today there's like more just, it's going on to become, instead of churches, we have now Methodist universities like SMU, over in Texas. And we have hospitals now, and like, if, for example, Methodist Hospital in Houston, and that's how it's just kind of go on besides the church. And so now it's kind of become a more one of the oldest religions in the world, and it's going to keep on like growing as the years go by. So now if somebody asks you about what Methodists believe and how they differ from other religions, you will know what to tell them.